we're going to count down the top 5 best Bionicle weapons. And I'll highlight some creations that use those specific pieces in some clever and creative ways. Let's not waste any time. Let's dive in. In that number 5 spot, we have a true classic. It's Toa Lacan. And I mean, dude, how dope does Lacan look when he's holding these silver blades? There's something so satisfying about the heft of them, even the elegant way that they curve. There's a grandness to this piece. You kind of get the sense that only a skilled warrior could wield something this large and this grand. For other people, it would be too heavy. They just wouldn't have that much grace while they move them around, you know? But we cannot forget that signature play feature of this toy. You can merge them together and they can become a huge shield. Heck yeah. In fact, this play feature was so good that it inspired a Bionicle G2 set on Tahu. When other people copy your homework, you know you've done a good job. Now, it's not every day that we see a good shield on a Bionicle set, so for that, that's why it's on this list. And hey, especially a shield that looks this big and this good. Oh, but the fun doesn't stop there. It can be blades, it can be a shield, but it can also be a lava board, or a surfboard, whatever you want to call it. Anytime an accessory on the set has this many play features and different uses, oh, that's the sign of something really, really special. So look, these pieces look fantastic on Lacan, but they're even better on this creation by the underscore double. Look at how nice these pieces look when you pair them with other silver weapon elements. In this context, now they sort of become like vice grips or pincers like you might see on a crab. It's just a very nice look. See, Lacan's blades, they are always going to be a statement piece, no matter how you use them. That dominating size, the shape of them, it just grabs your attention, and I think that's awesome. Over to the number 4 spot now, and this one goes out to actually another gold armored character. It's Iruni. So, okay, yeah, obviously he's holding 2 weapons. Which one am I talking about? Well, kind of both of them. But, okay, the real reason he's here is the shield. This felt revolutionary at the time of the release of this set. Because previously, when you got a Ratuka spinner on any toy, it was usually on the back, like 80% of the time. Yeah, sure, sometimes it was in the hand or the torso or whatever, but this back idea was very much the traditional way that one was used. So to break the mold and integrate it into a shield, that felt so refreshing. And on top of that, having it be a lovely gold color, look, I don't care who you are, gold is exciting, it's sparkly, it's pretty, it feels legendary. And we cannot forget the fact that it came with space to store an extra spinner. I love it! Yeah, because with other sets, if you did get a spare spinner element for the Ratuka spinner, well, too bad. LEGO didn't give you space to store this. You were probably gonna lose it. I know I certainly did. And then if you didn't get a spare one in the set, well, then you only have one of them to launch, and again, you're probably gonna lose it. So the storage option just made sense and was very much appreciated. Yeah, it was a good quality of life improvement, if you will. They really did perfect this play feature in a way that I didn't think was possible. And hey, you gotta love ripping the cord on this and letting it fly. So fun. Oh, but we also gotta talk about Iruni's staff. This cool looking gold element up top. I love this for a reason that I didn't know about until very recently, and hopefully I'm about to blow your mind. This element is known as the Chronicler's Staff. But what you might not have known is that it is a kind of closed up version of Takanuva's spear element. See, you can see the same pattern on the sides here and here. It's a perfect match. Isn't that wild? I did not know about this. The reason for this is that the Chronicler's Staff was meant to appear on Takua in this set. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But the original idea was, when Takua turns into Takanuva, the staff would kind of open up and become his new spear. I don't believe it was actually going to open up, it was just implied. But I think that's a sick idea. And yeah, it was a mind-blowing discovery for me. What a great piece. Both of these elements, how could you use them in a mock? Pohatu Run uses it for a revamp of Takanuva. And you know what? The shape of that shield piece, for a guitar, would not have expected it to work, but it does. And the staff element up the top there, sensational. What a perfect pair. Number 3 now. This goes out to an old favorite. It's Nuparu Anika, specifically of course, his blaster. I just love the art style on this. The holes at the bottom, the kind of notches missing at the front. It just looks cool. You know, even the fact that you can add a little lightsaber bar up top and give it a little laser scope. Sick! The obvious, like, real-world gun inspiration, it does make it look cool. And the fact that Nuparu holds this with the sickest looking claws ever, well yeah, this is peak. Even the Zamisphere launcher is pretty great, and the fact that it's mounted on his shoulder, so cool. Although, you know, in this video I didn't really want to focus too much on the like launcher pieces that were staples across a wave of a set. I more wanted to focus on the individualized pieces that are unique to certain characters, so that's not going to be the focal point here, but we cannot deny its coolness. It is safe to say that we're kind of spoiled for choice with weapons on this set, but yeah, the blaster is my favorite. Although we gotta give a shout out to some of the others as well, like Jala's golden sword, so cool. Oh, and of course, well, quickly, flash warning, the fact that you can press the button and each one of them will light up with a different color? Dude, that's so sick. I was obsessed with this play feature as a kid. And I mean, any toy that has flashing lights in it, I challenge you to say that that is not the coolest thing ever. Sure, it's a cheap gimmick, but it works. It gets me excited. And hey, maybe we'll do something a little different for how this is used in a mock. We have a revamp of Nuparu by Kotorak, and I do like this orange color scheme. Very nice. But check out how the builder has reimagined this piece. Very fun to see a more, I guess, stylized recreation. And introducing more trans red? It's a good idea. This looks awesome. Already down to the number 2 spot. Well, this one goes to one of the OGs. It's Onua Nuva. And I mean, look at that. 2 chainsaws? What a sick idea. And I like that chainsaws are used for mining. There's just a great amount of creativity behind this. It's not the kind of thing you expect to see, but hot dang, it works. And if you think this is cool, well, all of the Toa Nuva, they had some kind of way that you could take the weapon and place it somewhere else on the body so that it had another function. In this case, the chainsaws became roller skates. Yes, you heard me right, chainsaw roller skates. The kind of thing that lets you dig through the earth and do your job of mining, whilst looking cool as heck. And of course, you know you can use these in battle as well. That is the coolest thing ever. And see, again, it's that creativity that early Bionicle had. It was unlike anything else. The weird and wild stuff like this, it had such a level of charm to it. You can understand why the early waves of this theme were incredibly, incredibly successful. Because of stuff like this. But what about using this in a mock? Well, Duncan Libbo, they've simply taken this piece and, well yeah, turned it into an actual chainsaw. And then pairing it with some beavers? Very funny. And it's actually a pretty good beaver design as well. Great work. Alright, here we are at that number 1 spot. Who has the best weapon of any Bionicle toy? Pohatu Mystica and his silver accessories, they are the best. So what's so cool about these? Well, these pieces can spread out and become like helicopter rotors. Like he's an Osprey helicopter. Given that the theme of this wave of sets was like flight, this was such a perfect match. And then you can fold these elements together and it becomes a kind of drilling apparatus. Pohatu is a tower of stone, so that kind of works. Of course he'd be drilling into the stone. I really appreciate how both transformations here, they perfectly tie into the character's elemental powers and into the theme of flight that this wave of sets had. That's really good design work, and it's just really clever. It's also so much fun to spin these around. You gotta factor in playability with this kind of stuff. It is a joy to mess around with this. I also love that when you spin these around, eventually you can transform them from one into the other. That very natural transformation is beautiful. And you gotta love that shoulder-mounted Midak Sky Blaster. Certainly not the focal point here, but it does improve this set a lot. So look dude, this is really fun to play with. It also looks cool, the theming is on point. There's not many sets that can tick all 3 of those boxes. And then for all of those factors to work together in harmony, like this does, well that's something special. But how could you use this in a mock? Well, Stub the Bionic Man, they take these silver pieces and convert them into a pickaxe. I mean, look at that. You take that stone-themed weapon and turn it into another stone-themed weapon. And gosh, the shape of these pieces is perfect for a pickaxe. Who would have thought? Perhaps you could do something similar to this yourself. And that's that, guys. That's my favorite blasters, staffs, swords, and everything in between. But perhaps you have a different opinion on what the best ones are? So let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your favorites are. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. And shout out to Liwamuta's axe. I don't know, I just like it.